The night is quiet, and a story awaits. Before we begin, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so the night always finds you. You stand at the edge of a forgotten village where the air is thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient secrets. Moonlight barely pierces the mist that curls around your ankles, wrapping the world in a silvery veil. The path ahead is narrow, lined with gnarled trees that seem to whisper as you pass. Your breath catches in your throat, not from fear, but from the strange pull in your chest, like a thread tugging you forward. Somewhere in the distance, a bell tolls once, low and mournful, its echo lingering longer than it should. This place is called Wyan, the village of mist, a name you heard only in hushed stories from your grandmother. She spoke of it as a place where the living and the departed brush shoulders, where promises made in life cling to the air like dew. You weren't sure why you came here tonight. Maybe it was the old letter you found in her attic, its ink faded but its words urgent. Find the bell and break the vow. You clutched the letter in your pocket now, its edges worn from your restless fingers. The path leads you to a stone bridge, its arches crumbling under the weight of time. Below, a river runs silent, its surface smooth as glass, reflecting the pale moon. As you step onto the bridge, the mist thickens and the world feels smaller, as if it's just you and the sound of your own heartbeat. That's when you see her, a figure in white, standing at the far end of the bridge. Her hair falls long and dark, swaying though there's no wind. She doesn't move, doesn't speak, but her eyes find yours, and they hold a sadness that makes your chest ache. You take a step closer, and the bell tolls again, closer this time. The sound vibrates through your bones, stirring something deep within you, a memory that isn't yours. The woman's lips part, but no words come. Instead, you hear a soft hum, like a lullaby you've forgotten. You want to call out to her, to ask who she is, but your voice feels trapped, as if the mist itself is holding it back. Do you know why you're here? Her voice is sudden, soft as a breeze, yet it cuts through the silence. You shake your head, unsure, your fingers tightening around the letter. She steps closer, her bare feet silent on the stone. Her robe, you notice, is embroidered with lotus flowers, their petals faded but delicate. You carry a promise, she says, her eyes never leaving yours. One that wasn't yours to make, but yours to keep. You want to ask what she means, but the words won't come. The mist swirls around her, and for a moment you think she might vanish. But she doesn't. She points to the path beyond the bridge, where the trees part to reveal a faint glow, like a lantern swaying in the dark. Follow it, she says. Find the bell. But beware, for every ring binds you closer to her. Her? You frown, confused, but she's already turning away, her figure dissolving into the mist. The bell tolls a third time, and the sound feels like a hand pressing against your heart. You stand there, alone again, the letter heavy in your pocket. The path ahead beckons, and though your feet hesitate, something urges you forward. You cross the bridge, the river below reflecting nothing now, not even the moon. The glow in the moon, the glow in the distance grows brighter as you walk, the trees thinning until you reach a clearing. There, half hidden in the mist, stands a temple, its red-tiled roof sagging under the weight of years. Lanterns hang from its eaves, their light flickering as It's struggling to stay alive. The air here feels different, heavier, like it's holding its breath. You notice carvings on the temple's wooden doors, lotus flowers, just like the ones on the woman's robe. You push the doors and they creak open, revealing darkness within. The scent of incense lingers, faint but sweet, mingling with the dampness of the mist. Your eyes adjust, and you see it, a bronze bell suspended in the center of the temple, its surface etched with symbols you don't understand. It's larger than you expected, its presence commanding, almost alive. You step closer, your hand reaching out, drawn to it despite the warning in your mind. The letter in your pocket feels warm now, as if it's alive too. You pull it out, unfolding it under the faint light of a lantern. The words are clearer than before, as if the mist has sharpened them. Find the bell and break the vow, but know this, she will not let you go easily. You look up at the bell, its shadow swaying though there's no wind. The woman's words echo in your mind. Every ring binds you closer to her. You stand there, the temple silent except for the faint drip of water somewhere in the dark. The bell waits, and so does the mist, curling around you like a promise. You know you should leave, but the thread in your chest pulls tighter, urging you to stay. What vow? Who is she? The questions burn, but the answers feel just out of reach. Hidden in the toll of the bell, you stand frozen before the bronze bell, its etched symbols catching the faint lantern light. The temple's air is heavy, pressing against your skin, and the scent of old incense clings to your clothes. Your fingers tremble as they trace the edge of the letter, its words, find the bell, and break the vow burning in your mind. The woman's warning echoes too. Every ring binds you closer to her. You don't know who her is, but the weight of the word makes your heart stutter. The mist outside seems to creep closer, seeping through the temple's open doors, as if urging you to decide. You step toward the bell, your footsteps echoing on the worn stone floor. The symbols on its surface seem to shift under your gaze, curling like smoke, though you're sure it's just a trick of the light. You reach out, your hand hovering inches from the bell's edge. It feels wrong to touch it, yet the pull in. Your chest is stronger now, like a tide dragging you forward. You glance back at the letter, hoping for clarity, but it offers none. Only that cryptic warning. She will not let you go easily. A soft sound breaks the silence, a rustle, like silk, brushing against stone. You turn, expecting the woman in white, but no one's there. The temple is empty, save for the flickering lanterns and the bell. Still, you feel watched, as if the shadows themselves have eyes. You shake off the thought and focus on the bell. Maybe ringing it will bring answers. Maybe it will break the vow, whatever it is. Your hand inches closer, but before you can touch it, a voice stops you. Don't. It's her again, the woman in white, standing in the doorway. Her lotus-embroidered robe glows faintly in the mist, and her eyes are sharper now, almost pleading. You don't understand what you'll wake. You lower your hand, your pulse racing. She steps inside, her movements graceful but heavy, as if carrying a burden you can't see. That bell, she says, is more than it seems. It holds a promise made long ago, one that binds two souls and now you. You open your mouth to ask who she is, but she raises a hand, silencing you. My name is Lanfin, she says, her voice soft but firm. I was like you once, drawn here by A letter by a vow I didn't make. Her words send a chill through you. You glance at the letter in your hand, its ink seeming to pulse in the dim light. Whose vow? You manage to ask, your voice barely above a whisper. Lanfin's eyes darken, and she looks at the bell. Hers, she says. Maying's. She was my sister, and she loved too fiercely for her own good. The name stirs something in you, a flicker of recognition you can't place. Lanfin steps closer, her robe brushing the floor. Maying made a vow to a man, a scholar named Wei. They swore their love would outlast death, sealed with that bell. But love like that, it twists, it clings, it traps. You swallow, your throat dry. What happened to them? You ask. Lanfin's gaze drifts to the bell, and for a moment she seems lost in a memory. Wei betrayed her, she says at last. He promised his heart to another, and Maying, she couldn't let go. She rang the bell, binding her soul to this place, to him forever. And now, anyone who carries that vow, anyone who finds that letter, is pulled into her grasp. You look down at the letter, your hands shaking. But why me? You ask. Lanfin's expression softens, but there's pity in her eyes. The vow seeks someone to carry it, she says. Your grandmother found the letter, didn't she? She passed it to you, knowingly or not. Now Maying's will bind you, unless you break it. You take a step back, the weight of her words sinking in. The bell looms larger now, its presence almost suffocating. How do I break it? You ask, your voice trembling. Lanfin points to a small altar near the bell, half hidden in the shadows. On it sits a jade pendant, its surface carved with a lotus flower, just like the ones on her robe. Take it, she says, but know this, Maying will feel it. She'll come for you. You hesitate, your eyes darting between the pendant and the bell. The mist outside grows thicker, curling into the temple like fingers. The air feels charged, as if the world is holding its breath. You step toward the altar, your heart pounding. The pendant is cool to the touch, its weight surprising in your hand. As you lift it, the bell hums, a low vibration that makes the lanterns flicker. Lanfin's voice cuts through the hum. Hurry, she says, her tone urgent. She knows you're here. You slip the pendant into your pocket next to the letter and turn to leave. But the temple doors slam shut, the sound echoing like thunder. The mist swirls faster now, forming shapes that look almost human. Lanfin grabs your arm, her touch cold. Run, she whispers. Follow the path to the willow grove. Don't look back. You don't question her. You bolt for a side door, barely visible in the shadows, and push through it into the night. The mist is everywhere, clinging to your skin, but you keep running, the pendant heavy in your pocket. Behind you, the bell tolls once. It sounds sharp and angry, as if something or someone has been woken. You don't dare look back, but you feel it, a presence cold and relentless, watching you from the mist. The path twists ahead, leading to a grove where willows droop low, their branches swaying in the still air. You slow your pace, your breath, ragged, and glance at Lanfin. She's beside you, her face pale but determined. Keep the pendant close, she says. It's your only chance to face her. You nod, your fingers brushing the jade in your pocket. The bell's echo fades, but the mist feels alive, whispering secrets you're not ready to hear. You stumble into the willow grove, the long branches brushing against your face like soft fingers. The mist is thinner here, but it still clings to the air, weaving between the trees and casting strange shadows on the ground. Your chest heaves from running, and the jade pendant in your pocket feels heavier with every step, as if it's anchoring you to this place. Lanfin is close behind, her presence a quiet reassurance, though her face is taut with worry. The bell's last toll still lingers in your ears, sharp and accusing, and you can't shake the feeling that something is following you just out of sight. The grove is eerily silent, save for the faint rustle of leaves above. You glance at Lanfin, her lotus-embroidered robe catching the moonlight as she moves. "What now?" you ask, your voice low, afraid to disturb the stillness. She points to a narrow path winding deeper into the grove, where the willows grow denser, their branches forming a tunnel of green and shadow. "The pendant is only the first step," she says. "To break the vow, you must find Maying's shrine. It's hidden here, marked by lotuses." You nod, though your stomach twists at the thought of facing Maying. Lanfin's story about her sister love turned into a trap, a vow that binds beyond death, makes your skin prickle. You pull the pendant from your pocket, its jade surface cool and smooth, a carved lotus almost glowing under the moon. "What does this do?" you ask, holding it up. Lanfin's eyes flicker with something like fear. "It calls her," she says, "but it also protects you. Keep it close and don't let her take it." You slip the pendant back into your pocket, next to the letter, and start down the path. The willows seem to lean closer as you walk, their branches grazing your shoulders, whispering in a language you can't understand. The air grows colder, and your breath forms faint clouds in the mist. You feel Lanfin's presence beside you, but she's silent now, her eyes scanning the shadows. Every step feels like a choice, pulling you deeper into a story you didn't write. The path opens into a small clearing, and there it is, a shrine half swallowed by the willows. It's small, made of weathered stone with lotus carvings etched into its surface. A single lantern hangs above it, its flame steady despite the damp air. You approach slowly, your heart thudding. The shrine feels alive, its presence heavy, like the bell in the temple. You notice offerings scattered at its base, faded ribbons, wilted flowers, and a small mirror, its surface cracked but glinting in the light. You kneel to examine the shrine, your fingers brushing the lotus carvings. They're identical to the ones on the pendant, and the moment you touch them, a shiver runs through you. The air shifts and the lantern's flame flickers. "She's close," Lanfin whispers, her voice barely audible. You stand, clutching the pendant, and scan the clearing. The mist swirls at the edges, forming shapes that vanish when you look too long. "Who's there?" You call, your voice trembling but defiant. The mist seems to answer, parting to reveal a figure. It's not Lanfin, she's still beside you, her hand gripping your arm. This figure is different, her robe darker, her hair wild and tangled. Her face is hidden, but her presence is overwhelming, like a storm trapped in human form. "You have it," she says, her voice low and sharp, cutting through the silence. "Give it to me." You step back, your hand tightening around the pendant. "Maying?" you ask, though you already know. She moves closer, her steps silent, and now you see her face beautiful but hollow, her eyes burning with a mix of longing and rage. "You don't belong here," she says, her voice softening, almost pleading. Give me the pendant and you can leave. You can be free. You glance at Lanfin, who shakes her head, her expression fierce. Don't, she says. She'll trap you like she trapped me. Mei-Ying's eyes snap to her sister, and for a moment the air crackles with tension. You betrayed me first. Mei-Ying hisses, her voice dripping with hurt. You told him to leave to forget me. Lanfin flinches, but stands her ground. I wanted to save you, she says. Your love was killing you. You feel caught in their story, a pawn in a feud that's older than you. Mei-Ying's gaze returns to you, and she steps closer, her hand outstretched. The pendant, she says again, her voice almost hypnotic. It's mine. It's all I have left of him. You hesitate, your fingers brushing the jade in your pocket. The letter's words flash in your mind. Break the vow, but Mei-Ying's pain feels so real, so raw that you almost want to help her. Lanfin's hand tightens on your arm. Don't trust her, she whispers. She doesn't want to be free. She wants you to stay. You look between them, torn. Mei-Ying's eyes soften, and for a moment she looks like a woman who loved too much, not a spirit bound by vengeance. Please, she says, her voice breaking. I just want to see him again. The lantern above the shrine flares, casting long shadows across the clearing. The mist swirls faster, and you hear it again, the bell, tolling once, its sound heavy. With warning, Mei-Ying's face hardens, and she steps back, her figure fading into the mist. You'll regret this, she says, her voice faint but sharp. You can't run forever. She's gone, but the air still feels charged, like a storm about to break. Lanfin pulls you toward the shrine. We don't have much time, she says. You need to place the pendant on the shrine. It's the only way to weaken her hold. You nod, your hand shaking as you pull the pendant from your pocket. The lotus carving seems to pulse under your fingers, and as you set it on the shrine, the lantern's flame burns brighter, casting a warm glow over the clearing. The mist retreats slightly, but you know it's not over. Mei-Ying's presence lingers, a shadow at the edge of your vision. Lanfin's voice is urgent now. We need to move, she says. There's a spring beyond the grove. That's where the next step waits. You follow her, the pendant left behind on the shrine, but the weight in your chest remains. The willows close around you again, and the bell tolls once more, its echo following you into the dark. You weave through the willow grove, the branches parting like a curtain as you follow Lanfin. The air is cooler now, carrying the faint scent of water and moss. The pendant is gone, left behind on the shrine, but its absence feels like a missing piece of yourself. The letter in your pocket brushes against your fingers, a reminder of the vow you're meant to break. Lanfin moves swiftly ahead, her lotus-embroidered robe catching the moonlight, guiding you like a beacon. The bell's last toll still hums in your bones, and you can't shake the sense that Mei-Ying's eyes are still on you. Watching from the mist dot, the path slopes downward, and the willows give way to open ground where the mist pools like a shallow sea. Ahead, you see it a spring, its surface shimmering under the moon, surrounded by smooth stones etched with faint lotus patterns. The water is so clear you can see the pebbles at its bottom, glinting like tiny stars. Lanfin stops at the edge, her face tense. This is the spring of echoes, she says, her voice low. It holds memories, promises, truths. To break Maying's vow, you must see what she saw. You kneel beside the spring, the damp earth soaking through your clothes. The water is cold against your fingertips, and as you touch it, ripples spread, distorting the moonlight. What do I do? You ask, glancing at Lanfin. Her eyes are fixed on the spring, and for a moment she looks almost afraid. Look into the water, she says. Let it show you her heart. But be careful, her pain is heavy, and it will try to pull you in. You lean over the spring, your reflection wavering in the still water. At first you see only yourself, but then the surface shifts, and images begin to form, like a dream taking shape. You see a young woman Maying. You know it's her standing under a willow tree, her face bright with love. A man stands beside her, his scholar's robe fluttering in the wind. Wait, you realize the man Lanfin spoke of. His smile is warm, but there's a shadow in his eyes, a hesitation Maying doesn't see. The scene changes, and you watch Maying at the temple, her hands trembling as she rings the bell. Her voice is soft, speaking words you can't hear, but the weight of her vow is clear. She binds herself to weigh, her love poured into every toll of the bell. The water ripples again, and now you see her alone, her face streaked with tears as Wei stands with another woman, his hand on her shoulder. Maying's pain is raw, a wound that cuts through the spring's vision and into your own chest. You pull back, gasping, the cold water dripping from your fingers. Lanfin kneels beside you, her hand steady on your shoulder. You felt it, didn't you? She says. Her love, her betrayal. That's what keeps her here. You nod, your heart racing. The images linger in your mind. Maying's anguish so vivid it feels like your own. Why show me this? You ask, your voice shaking. Lanfin's expression softens, but her eyes are firm. To break the vow, you must understand it, she says. Maying's heart is tied to the bell, but her pain is here, in the spring. You need to offer something of your own, a truth, a memory to loosen her hold. You frown, unsure. What kind of truth, you ask? Lanfin points to the letter in your pocket. Something that binds you like the vow bound her. A promise you made, or one made for you. You pull out the letter, its edges worn and soft. Your grandmother's words come back to you, not from the letter, but from childhood memories, her stories of Wyan, her warnings about promises kept too long. You think of a promise you made her years ago to always seek the truth, no matter how hard it was. It was a child's vow, but it feels heavy now, tied to the letter, to this place. Will it be enough? You ask, holding the letter over the spring. Lanfin nods. It has to be, she says. But Maying will fight you. She doesn't want to let go. You hesitate, the letter trembling in your hand. The spring's surface is still again, but you feel its pull, urging you to act. You let the letter fall, watching as it sinks into the water, the ink blurring into the depths. The spring glows briefly, a soft light rising from its center, and you feel a release, like a knot loosening in your chest. But then the air shifts, growing colder, heavier. The mist around the spring thickens, and you hear a soft sob, not from Lanfin, but from the shadows. Maying steps into view, her dark robe trailing like ink, her eyes fixed on the spring. You think you can take him from me? She says, her voice sharp with pain. You think your little truth can undo mine? You stand, your legs unsteady, and clutch the empty space where the pendant once was. Lanfin steps between you and Maying, her voice steady. "She's not taking anything," she says. "She's setting you free." Maying's eyes flash, and for a moment you think she might lunge. But she doesn't. Instead, she kneels by the spring, her fingers trailing through the water where the letter sank. "He was mine," she whispers, her voice breaking. Why wasn't that enough? You want to say something to ease her pain, but the words won't come. The spring glows again, and Maying's form flickers like a candle caught in a draft. She looks at you, her eyes softer agents, no longer burning but pleading. "Don't do this," she says, her voice faint. "Don't take him away." Lanfin pulls you back gently. "We have to go," she says. The spring has weakened her, but she's not gone yet. You nod, your heart pounding, and follow Lanfin as she leads you away from the spring, back into the mist. Maying's sobs fade behind you, but her presence lingers, a weight in the air. The path ahead is narrow, leading toward a faint light in the distance, and you know the next step waits, closer to the heart of the vow. The bell tolls again, soft but insistent, calling you deeper into the night dot. You follow Lanfin through the mist, the path under your feet growing uneven as it winds away from the spring of echoes. The air feels lighter now, but the weight of Maying's sorrow clings to you, her whispered plea, "Don't take him away," echoing in your mind. The letter is gone, dissolved in the spring, but its words still burn. Find the bell and break the vow. You wonder if you're closer to freedom or deeper in the trap. The bell's faint toll hums in the distance, a reminder that time is slipping, pulling you toward something you can't yet see. Lanfin moves with purpose, her lotus-embroidered robe brushing against the tall grass that lines the path. The mist thins as you walk, revealing a field dotted with stone lanterns, their flames flickering like stars fallen to earth. "We're close," Lanfin says, her voice steady but low. The vow's heart lies ahead in the Pavilion of Promises. That's where Maying sealed her love and where you'll face her again. You swallow, your throat tight. The memory of Maying's hollow eyes, her voice thick with pain, makes your stomach churn. "What do I do there?" you ask, your fingers brushing the empty pocket where the pendant and letter once were. Lanfin glances back, her expression unreadable. "You'll offer the final piece," she says, "a choice. Yours, not hers. But it won't be easy, she'll fight hardest there." The path curves, and the pavilion comes into view, its wooden frame weathered but elegant, perched on a low hill. Its roof curves like a swallow's wing, and lotus carvings adorn its beams, glowing faintly under the moonlight. The air here is still, almost too still, as if the world is holding its breath. You climb the hill, each step heavier than the last, and notice a faint hum, like the bell but softer, coming from the pavilion dot. As you reach the entrance, you see it a small altar at the center holding a single object, a silk ribbon, red as blood, tied into an intricate knot. It's beautiful, but it feels wrong, like a wound left open. Lanfin stops at the threshold, her eyes fixed on the ribbon. "That's hers," she says, Maying's vow woven into that knot. Untie it and you break her hold. But she'll come for you when you try. You step inside, the wooden floor creaking under your weight. The pavilion smells of cedar and old promises, and the ribbon seems to pulse, its red thread catching the light of the lanterns outside. You kneel before the altar, your hands trembling as you reach for the knot. It's tighter than it looks, the silk smooth but stubborn, resisting your touch. You tug gently, and the hum in the air grows louder, vibrating through your chest. Stop. Maying's voice cuts through the silence, sharp and desperate. You freeze, your fingers still on the ribbon, and turn to see her standing in the pavilion's doorway. Her dark robe blends with the shadows, but her eyes burn, fixed on you. "That's mine," she says, her voice trembling with rage and grief. "You have no right." You glance at Lanfin, who stands firm, her jaw set. "Keep going," she says. "She can't stop you if you don't let her." Maying steps closer, her movements fluid, almost gliding. "You don't understand," she says, her voice softening, pleading. "That ribbon is all I have. Wei gave it to me, promised me forever. If you untie it, you erase me." Her words tug at your heart, and for a moment you hesitate, your fingers loosening on the knot. Her pain feels so real, so human, that you almost want to comfort her. But then you remember the spring, the visions of her love and betrayal, the weight of a vow that's trapped her, and now you hear. You shake your head, your resolve hardening. "I'm not erasing you," you say, your voice steadier than you feel. "I'm setting you free." Maying's face twists, and she lunges forward, her hand reaching for the ribbon. You pull back, clutching it tightly, and the air crackles, the lanterns outside flickering wildly. "Lanfin, help!" You call, but Maying turns on her sister, her voice a hiss. "You brought her here," she says. "You always hated my happiness." Lanfin's eyes flash with pain, but she steps forward, blocking Maying's path. "I loved you," she says, her voice breaking. "I wanted you to live, not haunt this place forever." The sisters stare at each other, the air thick with their shared history, and you seize the moment, your fingers working at the knot again. The silk begins to loosen, each thread giving way with a soft snap. Maying's head snaps back to you, and she lets out a cry, raw and anguished. The pavilion shakes, the wooden beams groaning as if the vow itself is fighting to hold on. "Don't," Maying begs, her form flickering, her robe dissolving into wisps of mist. "I'll be nothing without it." You pause, your heart aching, but Lanfin's voice cuts through. "Finish it," she says, "for her, for you." You pull the final thread, and the knot unravels, the ribbon falling limp in your hands. The hum in the air stops, and the pavilion grows still. Maying collapses to her knees, her hands clutching at the altar, her sobs filling the silence. "Wei," she whispers, her voice fading. "Why wasn't I enough?" You watch, frozen, as her form blurs, the mist swallowing her until she's gone. The ribbon lies in your hands, weightless now, its red faded to a dull gray. Lanfin kneels beside you, her face pale but relieved. "It's almost done," she says, "but there's one last place we must go, to the bell itself. That's where the vow began and where it must end." You nod, your hand shaking, the ribbon slipping to the floor. The mist outside swirls, gently, no longer threatening, but the bell tolls again, its sound soft and final, calling you back to the temple. You step out of the Pavilion of Promises, the unraveled ribbon left behind on the altar, its faded threads a testament to the vow you've begun to undo. The mist is softer now, curling around your ankles like a gentle tide, but the air still carries a weight, as if Maying's presence lingers, watching, waiting. Lanfin leads the way, her lotus-embroidered robe barely visible in the moonlight as she guides you back toward the temple. The bell's last toll echoes in your ears, a quiet summons that pulls you forward toward the heart of this strange night. The path feels familiar, though the landscape has shifted. The stone lanterns that once lit the field are dimmer now, their flames flickering as if tired. The willows loom in the distance, their branches swaying in a breeze you can't feel. Your heart beats unevenly, the memory of Ming's anguished cry, "Why wasn't I enough?" still raw in your mind. You wonder if you've done the right thing, or if you've only stirred a deeper sorrow. Lanfin glances back, her eyes catching yours. "You're almost there," she says, her voice calm but firm. The bell is the final step. You've weakened her hold, but Ming's vow is strongest where it was made. You must face it there. You nod, though your stomach twists at the thought of returning to the temple, to that bronze bell etched with symbols that seem to move under your gaze. "What do I do when we get there?" you ask, your voice barely above a whisper. Lanfin's expression softens, but there's a shadow of worry in her eyes. "You'll speak the truth," she says. "The vow was sealed with words, and only words can break it. But Ming will try to stop you." She's weaker now, but her heart still clings to this place. You swallow, your throat dry, and touch the empty pocket where the letter and pendant once were. All you have left is yourself, and the weight of a promise you barely understand. The temple comes into view, its red-tiled roof glowing faintly under the moon. The mist parts as you approach, revealing the open doors to lanterns inside casting long shadows across the stone floor. The air is thick with the scent of incense, sharper now, as if the temple itself is awake. You step inside, your footsteps echoing, and there it is, the bell, suspended in the center, its surface gleaming like it's waiting for you. Lanfin stays by the door, her hands clasped tightly. "I can't go further," she says, her voice heavy. "This is your moment. Speak from your heart, and don't let her pull you in." You nod, though your legs feel unsteady as you approach the bell. Its symbols seem clearer now, curling like vines, and you swear you see a lotus among them, pulsing faintly. The air hums, a low vibration that makes your skin prickle. You take a deep breath, searching for the words Lanfin said you'd need. The truth, what is it? You think of Ming's pain, her love for Wei, her betrayal. You think of your grandmother's stories, her warnings about promises that bind too tightly. And you think of yourself, drawn here by a letter, by a vow you didn't make but somehow carry. "Ming," you say, your voice trembling but clear. "I see you. I see your love, your hurt. But it's time to let go." The bell hums louder, and the lanterns flicker, casting wild shadows across the walls. You feel her before you see her, Ming, stepping from the darkness, her dark robe trailing like smoke. Her face is softer now, less angry, but her eyes still burn with a quiet desperation. "You can't take him from me," she says, her voice low, almost a whisper. "He was my forever." You shake your head, your heart aching for her. "He's gone," you say gently. You don't have to hold on anymore. Ming's form flickers, and for a moment, you see the woman from the spring's visions, young, hopeful, her face bright with love. "I gave everything," she says, her voice breaking. "Why wasn't it enough?" You step closer, though every instinct tells you to run. "It was enough," you say, "but it's not your burden anymore. You're free." The bell's hum grows deafening, and Ming's eyes widen, her hands reaching for you. "No," she whispers, but her voice is fading, her form thinning. Like mist in the sun, you keep speaking, the words spilling out now. Your vow was love, but love doesn't trap. It lets go, let way go, maying, let yourself go. The bell shakes, its surface glowing, and the symbols seem to unravel, the lotus fading into the bronze. Maying's cry is soft, more sorrow than anger, and she reaches for the bell, her fingers passing through it. "Wei," she whispers one last time, and then she's gone, her form dissolving into a swirl of mist that drifts upward, vanishing into the temple's rafters. The bell falls silent, its hum fading, and the lanterns burn steady again. You stand there, your breath ragged, the weight in your chest finally lifting. Lanfin steps forward, her face a mix of relief and sadness. "You did it," she says, her voice soft. "The vow is broken. She's free." You look at the bell, its surface dull now, just an old relic in an empty temple. "What about you?" you ask, turning to Lanfin. Her smile is faint, almost wistful. "My part is done," she says. "But you go back to the world. Live." She steps back, her robe blending with the mist, and before you can speak, she's gone, leaving you alone in the temple. The mist outside is thinning, the moon brighter now, guiding you toward the door. You take one last look at the bell, its silence a promise of peace, and step into the night. The path ahead clear, at last dot you step out of the temple, the night air cool against your skin, carrying the faint scent of earth and fading incense. The mist has retreated, no longer clinging to your ankles, and the moon hangs high, casting a silver glow over Wyan. The village feels different, now quieter, lighter, as if a weight has been lifted from the stones and trees. The bell behind you is silent, its presence no longer a pull in your chest. Maying's vow is broken, her sorrow set free, but a strange emptiness lingers, like the echo of a song you can't quite recall. You walk the path back toward the stone bridge, your footsteps steady but slow, as if you're reluctant to leave this place behind. The willows sway gently, their branches no longer whispering secrets, and the stone lanterns flicker softly, their light guiding you through the thinning mist. You think of Lanfin's final words, "live," and wonder what she meant. Was she bound here too, tied to her sister's vow? The thought sits heavy, but there's no one to ask now. Only the night and the stars above dot as you near the bridge. You notice something glinting on the ground, half hidden in the grass. You kneel, brushing the dew-soaked blades aside, and find a small lotus charm, its jade surface smooth and familiar. It's not the pendant you left at the shrine, but it feels like a gift, a piece of this night you can carry with you. You slip it into your pocket, its cool weight a quiet comfort, and stand gazing at the river below. Its surface is calm, reflecting the moon like a mirror, no longer hiding shadows. You cross the bridge, the stone solid under your feet, and pause at its center, looking back at the village. The temple's roof is just visible through the trees, its lanterns dim but steady. You wonder about Maying, about the love that bound her here, and about Wei, the scholar who broke her heart. Did he ever know what his betrayal cost? The question hangs unanswered, but it doesn't weigh you down. Not anymore. The path beyond the bridge stretches toward the edge of Wyan, where the mist fades completely and the world feels real again. You hear the soft rush of the river, the chirp of distant crickets, the sounds of a night no longer holding its breath. Your fingers brush the lotus charm in your pocket, and you think of your grandmother, her stories of this place, her warnings about promises. Maybe she knew you'd come here, that you'd find the bell and break the vow she couldn't. You keep walking, the village fading behind you, its secrets settling back into the earth. The stars are brighter now, and the air feels clean, as if the night has been washed anew. You wonder if Maying is truly free, if she's found peace beyond the mist. You hope so, though a part of you aches for her, for the love she poured into a vow that trapped her. The path widens and you see the outline of your car in the distance, parked where you left it at the edge of the village. It feels like days since you arrived, though the moon suggests only hours have passed. You pause, taking one last look at Wuyan, its silhouette soft against the horizon. The bell doesn't toll, the mist doesn't stir, and the night is yours. Again, quiet and whole, you reach the car, your hand resting on the door as you glance at the lotus charm one more time. It's a reminder, not of the vow, but of the strength it took to break it. You slide into the driver's seat, the engine humming to life, and as you pull away, the village disappears into the darkness, like a dream you'll carry, but never return to. The road ahead is clear, winding through the hills, and for the first time tonight, you feel like you're going home. You drive away from Wuyan, the road stretching before you like a ribbon unwound, the hills dark and silent under the moon's watchful glow. The lotus charm rests in your pocket, a small weight that feels like a promise kept, a piece of the night you'll carry forever. The air streaming through the open window is crisp, smelling of pine and distant rain, and it washes away the last traces of the mist that clung to you in the village. Your heart is steady now, though the memory of Maying's sorrow, Lanfin's resolve, and the bell's heavy toll lingers, soft as a whisper in your mind. The road curves through the hills, and you find yourself glancing at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see the temple's lanterns flickering in the distance. But there's only darkness, the village hidden beyond the horizon, as if it slipped back into the stories your grandmother told you. You think of her now, her voice weaving tales of Wuyan, her eyes distant with secrets she never shared. The letter she left you, the one that led you to the bell, feels like her way of passing the story to you, trusting you to finish what she couldn't. Your fingers brush the lotus charm, its smooth jade warm from your touch. It's not just a trinket, it's a reminder of the vow you broke, of Maying's love and pain, and of Lanfin's quiet strength. You wonder about them, the sisters bound by a promise that spanned lifetimes. Did Lanfin find peace too when Maying faded into the mist? You hope so, though the thought of their story ending brings a pang of sadness. Their love, their loss, their struggle, it's part of you now, woven into the fabric of this night. The stars are bright overhead, a map of light guiding you home. You think about the choices you made leaving the pendant, offering the letter, untying the ribbon, speaking the truth to the bell. Each step felt like a thread unraveling, not just Maying's vow, but something in you too. A promise you didn't know you carried, tied to your grandmother's stories, to the weight of truths left unspoken. You feel lighter now, as if the night has lifted a burden you hadn't realized was there. The road straightens, and you see the faint glow of city lights in the distance, a sign that the world is waiting, unchanged yet somehow new. You wonder what you'll tell people when they ask where you've been. The truth feels too fragile, too strange, like a dream that fades in the morning light. Maybe you'll say you visited an old village, followed a story your grandmother told you. Maybe you'll keep whining to yourself, a secret shared only with the night. You pull over for a moment, needing to feel the quiet before the city claims you. The engine hums softly as you step out, the cool air brushing your face. You look up at the sky, the stars sharp and endless, and feel a sense of peace you hadn't expected. The lotus charm is warm in your hand, and you hold it up, its faint glow catching the moonlight. It's not heavy anymore, not a burden, but a gift, a piece of wine you can carry without being bound. You think of Maying one last time, her face softened by release, her voice fading into the mist. You hope she's found way not to hold him, but to let him go, to find the rest she deserved. You think of Lanfin, her quiet farewell, and wonder if she's watching from somewhere beyond the stars. The bell is silent now, its toll a memory, and you know you've done what you came to do. You climb back into the car, the road calling you forward. The city lights grow brighter, and the night feels complete, its story told. You drive on, the lotus charm in your pocket, the weight of wine behind you, and a quiet promise to live, to carry the truth of this night into the days ahead. The stars follow you, and the road stretches on, leading you home. That's tonight's tale. If it stayed with you, like, subscribe, and tap the bell. We'll meet again soon in the dark.